everybody, and welcome to the 49th edition of LM's Weekly Wrap, our weekly program to cover all the developments relating to the markets, what is expected going forward into the markets. I think it's been a dream run for the markets, for the equity markets, and as we talk today, the Nifty is at a record high 18,850 being breached. Very convincingly, and still the kind of appetite which we are seeing from the foreign institutional investors, I think leaves us quite amazed about the quality of the run which we have had in the markets. This week was quite eventful because we had the US Federal Reserve FOMC meet, and we had developments from China and ECB and a whole host of other developments relating to the markets. So joining me to give us a perspective on the global markets as well as the domestic markets, we have Jash. Jash, welcome to the show and kindly take us ahead.
Thank you, sir. It's been great to be back, and as usual, I'll be starting with the Nifty levels. As sir rightly mentioned, the Nifty has reached 18,850 mark, which is at about record high levels, and I don't think any of the participants had expected in the last 3 months that we were going to go at new levels. But I think we had definitely mentioned at some point in the last 2-3 weeks that we see Nifty going at 18,800 levels. It's no rocket science. I feel that the corporates have been giving good results. India has been very resilient, as we have been mentioning. Our one source of worry was the El Nino effect, which we are seeing. The monsoons are late in Bombay, Kerala, and the cyclone has going to be causing some damage, which will affect the crop prices in the western region, that is Gujarat. But I think that is too far to be gauged right now. I'll start next. I'll go ahead with the FOMC meet, the US Fed stance that they took. I think the Fed is also confused right now, because after taking a lot of steps of rate hikes, they have paused this time, but they're still confused on how to go, because despite increasing the rates, the inflation still hasn't come under control, and that is a sign of worry for them. So they're going to wait for another 6 weeks. On July 25th, they have another meet, and they'll take a call of hiking the rate. So they have a very hawkish view, but I think only time can tell right now, and that's what the market has cheered, the temporary pause of the interest rates over here. Coming to the EPC, the European zone, they have also increased their rates by 20 basis points in the last week. We clearly know that the European markets are under recession. They are having a tough time after the whole gas crisis that they saw, and if we see the exports from India to Europe, the European Union, that has also decreased. So they are having a slightly tougher time. Coming to China, I think this is the most interesting space right now, because it is completely opposite from what the world is doing. The unemployment level of the youth in China is at the highest ever, and to boost the economy, they have had 2 back-to-back rate cuts. So that has actually led to increase in the metal prices, and you can see the metal stocks of our country, the domestic metal stocks, improving, because of course China is the price maker, as it is the highest manufacturer and consumer of the metal goods. I think it's a very interesting spot that the whole economy is in, as even India, if you see, India is one of the countries which has not led into recession. If you see 2 days ago, New Zealand went into recession. So we are very resilient. Only factor, as I mentioned, El Nino is to be watched. But apart from that, I think we are poised for growth. But of course, the market being at top, we expect some kind of healthy correction, which is actually required. But otherwise, I don't think we have much to fear of, except the global crisis that is there. That's it for me, and I'll hand over to Nirav for the rest. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Jash, for the inputs. And I think we'll go now sector-wise, what is happening in the markets. I think last week we got some very good support from various sectors like auto, FMCG, and cement. I think most of these sectors are making a comeback on account of moderation in the raw material prices. Of course, auto stocks have got little to do with the moderation in the raw material prices, because they are facing the brunt of higher input cost any which ways, and they have been doing regular price hikes over there. In the auto sector, we are seeing a pent up demand, we are seeing a huge amount of festival driven demand, etc., which is driving the market, overall market. Auto is another aspect altogether. It continues to face a
Yes,
strong
sir.
demand.
So add to that, so can you also highlight the WPI that the WPI rate that we saw negative this week?
Yeah.
So that is also helping the whole sector.
Yeah, so it is also helping the sector, and overall, if we just go to see, auto sector has been able to pass on the
Correct.
price hikes to the final consumers. But as far as cement and FMCG are concerned, we are seeing moderation in the prices. We are seeing the FMCG companies in a position to increase the grammage. They are in a position to pass on the price hikes, the price fall to the final
Correct.
consumers. That is there. And in the case of cement, they have seen a moderation in the raw material prices. We are seeing the pet coke prices and the thermal coal prices have also started coming down. So cement sector is also expecting that after the next couple of quarters, there will be a good improvement in the margins, and that should aid the bottom line growth. As a result of which, we have seen a lot of these stocks go into resilience. We've seen stocks with FMCG, in the FMCG space like Britannia, Nestle, they have continued to hit new highs. In the cement space, we are seeing good traction. And this week, I think there was a sector rotation which was evident in the markets. We saw, as pointed out by Jash, that China going in for the rate cuts, we have seen some good momentum pick up in the metal stocks. So I think the metal stocks were in for a good time. We have seen the annual reports of Tata Steel. Tata Steel has released its annual report, and in that it talks a lot about decarbonization, their efforts in adding new value-added products. For example, in the case of Tata Steel, they are looking at new value-added products, futuristic products like graphene, composites, and other medical related products. So that is one aspect. And the second aspect is in the quest for decarbonization and to reduce the carbon effect and to produce low carbon steel. Essentially, most of these companies are going in for the electric arc furnace route.
Yes.
So this kind of journey towards the electric arc furnace route should aid the makers of graphite electrodes. So in this particular industry, we've seen that there are two main players in the market. One is HEG and the second is Graphite India. Graphite India, incidentally, happens to be our weekender stock, our LM weekender stock. And this stock has moved up dramatically from 260, 270 levels to 410 levels currently, and still there is a huge scope for appreciation from the current levels. So yesterday we saw some very good moves from HEG as well as Graphite India Limited. Both these companies are likely to benefit on account of the transformation which is going to take place towards the electric arc furnace route. So this is the steel side of the story. We've seen a lot of positive commentary coming in from the steel companies, whether it is Tata Steel, whether it is JSW Steel. JSW Steel was also one of the big gainers in the markets because of their intention to acquire a stake in MG Motors. So I think that could be a positive development and could give a boost to the stock. And we are seeing yesterday an important development take place in the cement sector also. We have seen that just like the electric arc furnace route is there to help the decarbonization process. Yesterday there is a talk that a Swedish green tech company called Soltex Technology, they have tied up with Dalmia Bharat for making steel via the electric arc calciner route. So this will also again reduce the carbon emission process and will be helpful in containing the cost. Now this is very important because Dalmia Bharat is also one of the lowest cost producers of cement in the country, and it has got one of the lowest logistic costs in the country. It is trying to make a national pan-India presence. So I think cement sector is getting a boost on account of all these developments. We are seeing cement sector stocks also ready to rally significantly in the times to come. So watch out for stocks like Dalmia Bharat, Birla Corp, JK Cement, apart from the leaders, like which is the Ultratech Cement, Shri Cement, and Ambuja Cement. So all these are stocks are holding a lot of potential. A lot of sectors are making a comeback in the market. I think a couple of sectors which continue to remain weak are the IT space and the banking space. We've seen some amount of weakness over there. In the case of IT, I think we are seeing a lot of weakness. There was a lot of inquiry for Wipro because a lot of people, investors, they were keen to find out that on account of the expected buyback, there's definitely going to be demand for the stock. However, the stock has disappointed big time. We had advised our clients to stay away from the stock, and I think this was a big loser in this week. Apart from this, I think today we saw TCS was also under pressure in the markets because of certain deals being postponed or cancelled. So I think apart from that, we have we've seen this IT sector stocks coming under pressure, and pharma is making a comeback in the market. We've seen stocks like Lupin, Aurobindo Pharma hit 52-week highs yesterday, and today, incidentally, in this particular week, we have seen the biggest gainers being DRL, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. Has been a big gainer in this week. We are seeing good gains coming in for Sun Pharma. So overall, I think pharma has been a big gainer in this particular week, and big losers for this particular week were the two-wheeler stocks. We've seen Hero MotoCorp. We've seen Bajaj Auto on account of various developments. Now, Hero MotoCorp, after having given a good strong presentation to the analysts and after having presented good numbers and trying to hint that it's on the comeback trail, has come under pressure because the Ministry of Corporate Affairs is likely to initiate an inquiry against the companies on account of certain dealings with the third-party vendors, and there is an allegation of diversion of funds by the company. Bajaj Auto was down today because one of its main markets, export markets, Nigeria, has devalued its currencies. When you devalue your currency, your imports become more expensive. So that could be a negative as far as Bajaj Auto is concerned. Same holds true for TVS Motors. TVS Motors is also being impacted on account of the overseas market exposure. So I think overall it was a bad week for the two-wheeler makers. Two-wheeler makers were under some sort of pressure, and it was a tough week for the IT companies too, because we've seen on account of diverse reasons a lot of IT companies have come under pressure, especially today TCS. During the week we saw Wipro, which was a big loser, and SCL Technologies generally also under a lot of pressure. So IT continues to be under pressure, whereas pharma is trying to make a comeback in the markets. So overall I think a lot of strength, and now going forward I think with the Prime Minister's visit to US, I think defense stocks are going to be in top gear. Railway stocks continue to be in top gear. I think recent developments during the week, both our weekender stock ideas, RK Forge as well as Titagar Wagons, continue to do very well. On the defense side, BEL, our weekender stock, has achieved its target, but on account of the Prime Minister's visit to US, we have recommended that 50% quantity should be sold and the remaining should be hold in the portfolio. And this weekender we are looking at Graphite India. We are reiterating our buy call on Graphite India Limited, and we are also reiterating our buy call on Wonderla Holidays, which has got strong prospects. Lot of many things to discuss, but I think time constraints will not permit us any further. So I think I will hand over to Jash for the closing comments.
Thank you, sir. You've got very valuable insights on the weekender stocks right now by Nirav, sir. We have reiterated, and this is where we are saying it. So keep watching our videos to know more on our weekender calls. You might get it know before everyone else does. So like, share, subscribe, and don't miss our market wraps every weekend. Thank you.
Thank you very much.